years designing and building performing arts centers. And it's an interesting thing. There definitely is a correlation, and it's all about that connection that you make to the audience, or you make to the customer, or to the person who is experiencing the project. And that is really the magic that happens when it's done correctly, that you create the venue where those kinds of experiences can happen, and people value that, and it becomes a part of their lives. And that's what brought me to architecture in the first place, was the opportunity to create something that would have some lasting impact on the community. So I take it pretty seriously. It does have an impact, and we all want to be sensitive to what those are. I have quite a few slides here. I'm going to go through them relatively quickly. We can always come back to them if you have any questions. And just as you can see here, I really don't like the PowerPoint. I would have rather put boards up here, because then I can wave my arms and do all kind of stuff and point to stuff on the boards. But in this case, bear with us. We do have some half-size boards if we need to kind of really dig in and look at something. I also apologize for the screen resolution. It looks terrible to me. So a lot of the team's hard work is not going to show through here the way that I would have liked to show through. But
does everybody use this light? Shut the mic, come up or shut the light?
yeah, okay.
Right?
That's a little better. You tell me. It's too dark.
Laser
Oh, look at that. Okay, hold on.
There you go.
Great. Okay. I don't like using these either. So, okay. So I'll be jumping back and forth between the computer and things. So just over, you see it here. I'm going to walk you through what we see as the existing conditions here in Warner Center. And as John referred, I've been working at this area for a while now. Promenade being one of the first projects I did with Westfield, and Topanga being one of the projects that went under my purview during my time there. So I feel pretty fortunate to have gotten that one constructed, and pretty happy with it. Of course, I always look at the warts on things and could see where things could be improved, but overall we're pretty happy. So walk through existing conditions, kind of what we see as the overriding planning principles, talk a bit about the streetscape and how we propose to deal with the streetscapes, talk about open space and our vision for what the open space will be in the proposed village project, and then for us talk about sustainability. We take it seriously within the company, and there is a real push to we want to be responsible citizens, and that's a global effort for Westfield. Okay, so you know the community, you know the area as well as I do. So what we've done here, and again I apologize for this resolution, but what this is showing you, and we've kind of overlaid a color coding of the uses that we find around the area. And before you jump in and say, well, damn it, that's an office building right there, these are generalized a bit. And so, again, we can look at these hopefully in more clarity. But the red, in this case, represents retail. And for the most part, what you see along Victory is this kind of large format retail. You get some of that here along Topanga, and then also some large format retail. I told you I hate using this laser pointer. Some large format retail up here on Canoga. Blue represents office. You know where that is. Green represents residential. We do have some residential right across the street from the office buildings that are in our block. And then we sit within this area here, bounded by Victory, Owens, Mount Irwin, and Topanga. Okay, thank you. So this shows you kind of what's out there today.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. What did you call the yellow?
Sorry. Okay. The yellow for us, we look at that. That's our retail. That's Westfield retail.
So it's more retail.
That's all. So that's the Promenade project. That's the Topanga, Westfield Topanga, and then this is just identifying these three sites. We like to kind of look at that and say, what's the big picture that's going on here?
But it's retail in addition to the rate.
retail in addition to the color coding of the other uses. So let's go to the next slide. Okay, so then we break it down a little bit further here, and you can see what's on the site. So the Crate and Barrel building that's there today, and then all the other kind of, you know, not so great looking stuff that's around here. The Owens Mouth office building, as we refer to it, that we're preserving. And the real thing I like to point out here is that you've got a major roadway running through here in Victory Boulevard. It's 8 lanes wide. Not a great kind of walkable environment. And then you've got Topanga Canyon Boulevard, which is a state highway. That's 7 lanes wide. And again, kind of a tricky. Sorry?
What was that graphic city?
It says road designed only for cars.
Road designed only for cars. State highway, 7 lanes. Road designed only for cars, 8 lanes. So it's not a great walkable environment along these major streets here. And that'll become important as we get into some of the street frontages and how we're proposing to deal with that. Let's jump ahead. Okay, so then just sorry?
Walk it every morning.
Okay, that's brave of you, very brave. So this is just showing, I mean, you all seen this, so just a perspective of what that site looks like, and then we'll go through, and all these little numbers are coded to some photographs, so let's just jump ahead to that. And that's what just a reminder of kind of what's out there. So not the most, these are along Topanga Canyon here at the bottom, not the most pedestrian friendly environment here. You're walking right along this major highway, cars whizzing by, and maybe sometimes not whizzing by, but you know, not a great place you want to walk. You certainly want to walk your kids along there. And then the same thing along Victory, not too pedestrian friendly. This is the corner of Victory and Owens Mouth, the development across the street from us. Of course, the Topanga one. Show a little favoritism there.
What is all that red and white in front of Westfield?
This right here, those are flowers.
Where?
Sorry?
Are they here now?
They are. In fact, they're much taller now.
And they get watered every day.
They do get irrigated so that they look nice and presentable. This is a lot of this landscape here is xeriscape. We can talk about that if you like to, but let's move on. Okay, and then some of the the very positive things we have here. This is showing you the transit connections that we have. So this you see is the orange line coming down. That's the park and ride area there, and that orange line then comes down along here, and then here's the transit hub over here behind or next door to Promenade and adjacent to the Warner Center, the real office towers around here. The proposed, I don't think this is quite operating yet, but the proposed red line that'll come and wrap the site and also comes back to the transit hub. There's a proposed stop. There is a stop proposed for right here, the mid-block. And then other connections that run through the valley and connect the site, and some dash lines, etc. So pretty good connections. And then you've got a existing bus stop here today, just off the northwest corner of the Crate and Barrel. Bus stop here, just off the intersection of Owens Mouth and Victory. And like I said, a proposed stop here. So now I'm just going to roll into some of the planning principles that we were looking at and in how we developed and came up with the plan that we have. Go ahead. So the first thing we talk about is block sizes, and this is something we've looked at right at the beginning of this. You look at the pattern of the block sizes in the valley, and these are super blocks. They're really not conducive to walking. This is 1,100 by 1,400 feet, so pretty good size. Now, I will tell you that what you're looking at here, these are all to the same scale. So this will give you some sense of what it means here in the West Valley versus, say, you've got a Portland block here, 200 by 225, thereabouts. A San Diego block, 200 by 300. A Manhattan block, 200 by 720. And then even a Santa Monica block, 300 feet by 500 feet. That would be, that's 3rd Street right along there. So people are So we are looking at, when we came into this, we thought, well, we got to break down the scale of this because you really want to get people walking and you really want to get them into the site. So this is looking at, okay, there's an existing intersection there, so that's a sensible place where we can start to slice this block. A mid-block intersection here is a sensible place. We don't own these, so we're creating opportunity over here for ourselves. And then some intersection across Victory Boulevard here that'll make sense for the site. One of the things that you'll notice, this little offset here, one of the things we do want to do, we want to create smaller block sizes, but we also are pretty adamant about discouraging cut-through traffic, because the last thing we want to see happen is that we get another Victory Boulevard or Topanga Canyon Boulevard cutting right through the site, because then you destroy the whole idea of a pedestrian-friendly environment, which we find around here. So we do want to protect the site somewhat from cut-through traffic and frustrated commuters and stuff like that. And then, sorry. Okay. And the other thing is, what the connectivity across the street. So we have to be sensitive to